Hi, my name is Paul Dickinsdale. This is my wife.
Angie.
We just want to share a little bit with you about our story and our journey. I'm originally from Ghana and born and raised here in Ghana.
I'm originally from Auburn, California, born and raised. And I lived in San Diego for a while, and while I was there, I was involved doing short-term mission trips to Mexico and working as a dental assistant, and really felt like going on a medical missions trip. And so I was a member of the Christian Medical and Dental Association and went on a mission trip to Ghana in January 2005. And while I was here on that trip, after getting back home, I really felt the Lord speaking to my heart about coming back and doing children's ministry. So as I prayed and sought God over it, I started planning to come back. And I didn't really know anybody in Ghana except for the medical team that we had worked with. And so I just planned to come back with them. Well, I had gone back north for a weekend trip to visit family, and while I was there, you're eating my cake. And while I was there, I went to Abundant Life Fellowship, which is my home church in Roseville, and they were having a testimony service from their mission trip to Ghana. So I talked to the missions director there, and he put me in touch with his contacts in Ghana. And so I came back that summer, 2005, and just did children's ministry and needed outreaches and vacation Bible schools, and it was just a great time. And that was when I met Paul. He was the pastor that I came to work with at that time. And through the course of that month, we just got to know each other better. And as I was preparing to come...
All right, so some of you want to know how we fell in love. If it was love at first sight, how it all began. Well, this is a good time to tell you, since it is Valentine, the season of love. All right, ours wasn't a love at first sight because at the time I was very focused on ministry, though I realized it's getting to the time for me to get married, and my wife Angie was coming purposely because she knew God wanted her coming to Ghana to serve in the country, and so ours wasn't love at first sight. This is what actually happened. I'll have her tell you how.
Well, when I was getting ready to come for that summer, Paul had a missionary friend that contacted me and wanted to send some things for the ministry over. So in the course of our conversation, she started asking me some very personal questions, and how old I was, and if I had a boyfriend, and da-da-da-da, and I was like, no. And so she was like, well, Pastor Doe is single too. And I pretty much freaked out at that point because I knew I was staying in the pastor's house. So I just assumed I was staying with the pastor and his family.
And being an African pastor with his 7 or 8 children.
No, I just thought I was staying with his family. So I almost canceled my trip over it. So I called the missions director. I was like, are you sure it's safe for me to go by myself? Da-da-da-da. And every time I prayed about it, though, I just felt the Lord say, go. That was the only word I heard, was just go. So I came, and so he said he would be wearing a cowboy hat. That's how I could identify him at the airport, because we had never met in person before. And so when I came out of the airport, and it's kind of overwhelming because it's just like a sea of faces, people waiting to pick people up, and so my eyes are just scanning the crowd looking for a cowboy hat, and there he was. He's like, hi, Angie. And I just thought, this is the goofiest African guy I've ever seen in my life. And so that was kind of funny, and I was like, this is the guy she was talking about. And so we got back to the house, and
Now I wear cowboy hats because I see myself as the African John Wayne, and here she is thinking of me as the weirdest African guy.
it was like a 10-gallon hat. It was big.
Yeah, right. My favorite hat.
I know. And so
It was Stetson.
excuse me. So we got back to the house, and he showed me my room, and then I went and got the things out that the lady had sent for the ministry and a few other things that I had brought. And so from what he knows about Americans is that we hug for everything. We're very huggy people. And so he wanted to give me a hug to say thank you, but he didn't know the conversation that I had had with this woman before. So when he gave me a hug, I was just like stiff as a board. I didn't hug him back. I was just standing there.
In that moment, I was like, whoa, this is gonna be the longest 1 month having an American missionary staying with us, because I'm thinking this is one of those weird Christian ladies, hyper, super spiritual, and so way out there.
Yeah. And so, so then he tried to ditch me. He was like, "Oh, you can go, you can relax or rest. I'm going to the park to pray." And I was like, "Oh, prayer? I want to go." I was totally oblivious. I didn't know he was trying to get rid of me. And so we went to the park to pray, and then his friend, who was also a pastor, when we got to the park, I guess he asked Paul in their language, what did he say?
My friend was like, "Oh, is this the wife we've been praying for you for?" And I'm like, no, not this one.
So, so then he sent me off for the week with another pastor to go and do school visits, and I just went. I didn't know he was trying to avoid me. I just thought that was my program.
From the first encounter, I was like, "Oh, this lady is weird, and I don't know what kind of American she is, and I just don't want to have much to do with her. We have so many other people that we are working with," and so I had one of the pastors taking her out to her school outreaches. And then she has 3 other ladies that were like her chaperones that were with her all the time. But this is where things change. Like every time she comes back from those outreaches, she wants to talk to me. She wants to find out more about the things she's seen, the things she's experienced, and she was always full of questions and want to know better ways we can serve the people. And after a little over a week, I saw her heart, her sincerity, her love for God and the things of God, and desire to genuinely serve the people here. And we became friends from that point on.
Yes, friends.
Yeah, friends.
Friends. Yeah. We were friends then. And then I also was just enjoying our conversations, but I was also very rigid a bit. And so one night I was asleep in my room and I saw his face in my dream, and it was like I saw his face in my dream, but I knew it was like he was my husband. And so I woke up in a total frenzy, just panicked, and spent the rest of the night in deep spiritual warfare.
Bind that spirit.
Rebuking the devil for putting him in my dream. Oh goodness. And so then so then we went to a little town called Mankasim, and while we were there we were going for a night outreach, and me being the ever clumsy one that I tend to be sometimes, we were walking down this hill and I slipped and almost fell, almost tumbled down the hill. So we were with a group of people, but Paul was the closest person to me. So as I was going down, I think I grabbed the back of his shirt. I was like, if I'm going down, I'm not going alone. And so when he saw that I fell, he was like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And
I grabbed you,
yeah, I was
saved you from
I was
a
a
big
little
fall.
embarrassed. Yeah, I was a little embarrassed. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And so he was like, "Oh, let me help you down the hill." And I think in that moment was when I felt my heart change. Is when he took my hand to walk down the hill. It was something I had never felt before, and everything inside of me wanted to say, "Don't ever let go." And
And so she fell in love with
That was
me,
it.
and that was the happiest transformation.
yeah,
And as they say, the rest is history. And actually, we became much closer friends by the time she was ready to leave in a month, and we continued to stay in touch. We didn't have Facebook and so much technology back then, but
we
then
had Skype,
Skype, Yahoo.
something.
Yeah.
We used to do a little.
We had Yahoo, a little bit of Yahoo chats back then, and that's how we stayed in touch. And she went on and enrolled in Rhema Bible College in Oklahoma, and then the following Christmas she came back, joined us for some Christmas outreaches, and
That was when he popped the question.
that was when I was like, "Hey, do you wanna marry me?" She said yes.
Yes.
And it's been 10 years of marriage. And
Almost. May will be 10.
yeah, May will be 10 years. And we've been blessed with 4 kids. And the Lord is continuing to, bind us together, teach us, and show us the things He's called us to do. And we are seeing lives being transformed, and that is the most important thing. And I really thank God for the blessings of having Angie as my wife, the mother of my kids, and it's just one of the most beautiful blessings in life. And so I love you.
I love you.
Malonto, as we say in Ewe, Malonto. Midopa.
Happy Valentine's Day.
We love you all, and God bless you. Ciao. Okay, now how do I turn this off?